Nolan King here on Long Island at Longo and Weidman MMA alongside Charlie the Cannibal Campbell, who fights on Dana White's Contender Series this summer, coming up here in a few weeks. Charlie, man, how's it going? Obviously on your home turf here. How's it feel to have the UFC roll into town? Do you get excited too as a fighter that's got some teammates and stuff? I know nobody's on this card from Long Island, but
yeah. First of all, thanks for having me. I've got a lot of aspirations for myself in the future. Obviously, I got to get this win in a few weeks. We got a lot of great energy in the gym right now with my other teammates fighting. Dennis Bazucha on week 1 and Nazim Sadikov a few weeks after me, week 4. So between the three of us, we have a lot of great energy going around the room. Our team is super excited, and I, along with the other two, are ready to represent on Dana White's Contender Series, get our contracts in the UFC.
And I guess what drew you into Longo and Weidman? Obviously, they've had a few champs, name recognition. You're not from far down the road, so was it just this is the place to train when you're on Long Island?
That for sure. Like at any point, if someone's looking to learn martial arts at the world-class level, and I would imagine anyone who's looking to learn martial arts should want to learn at the world-class level, they should, look for the best gym around. But I think it's sort of, as you just mentioned, it's obvious. If you're looking to take this seriously and you want to potentially make a run for it at the high level, you need to be surrounding yourself with the best. And it's clear that this team has put that together for the last, over a decade, honestly. So it was a no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess for people that aren't familiar with you, I know you fought for Bellator. You had a great promo for CFFC that kind of went a little viral. But for maybe fans that hadn't seen either of those, can you just kind of give me your backstory about how you got started out in MMA and what led you down this path?
Yeah, so I started wrestling when I was 6 or 7, and I don't know. You just see, I was watching UFC when I was like 10 years old, and my uncle and his buddies, would let me hang out with them. Again, I was 10 or 11 years old, and they would explain to me that what I was watching is sort of what I was doing at the time, which was wrestling. So I wrestled from when I was like 6 or 7 years old. I didn't get a chance to wrestle in high school or in middle school because my athletic director and athletic program didn't offer wrestling. So I got into kickboxing and Muay Thai when I was 13 years old. I started doing jiu-jitsu around that time as well. I sort of, believe that it chose me. I started wrestling because I was very aggressive as a kid. I think my family and my parents realized that, and they helped me kind of find an outlet at a young age. I was doing pretty well at a young age with the wrestling, and it kind of just never stopped. It's just it's so strange to look back on, but it was almost as if I had no other choice from that day forward. I was doing so well with the competitions as a kid, and when I started throwing punches and kicks when I was 13, that came natural, and I started watching the UFC, and I don't know, it just chose me at that point. I was already so far in, there's no turning back.
Yeah, and I guess was this like always the goal kind of, or did you like on the side, were you like going to school and stuff, did you think like this would, I guess when did you think this would become a career?
It's funny, I mean, through high school, I was telling myself, without realizing, without realizing at the time that I needed to surround myself with probably some better, teammates and coaches and whatnot. But in high school, I would tell people if anyone asked me that this is what I wanted to do. It wasn't until about I was about 20 years old that I said, you know what, I really want to be a part of what they're doing in Garden City. The Sarah Longo fight team had been getting it done for so long, and it's just a no-brainer. I feel like if I'm going to stand any shot, I need to, get involved with the best team. And I knew I stood among the best, already. So, I knew it'd be a shame if I didn't go for it and give myself the best chance in doing so by joining this team.
And the first time you were on my radar was when you fought for Bellator and you beat Nanoa Dung, like kicks. Good interview afterwards, kind of stuck on our radar. I know sometimes Bellator will take guys or like, that do well on their prelims or beat their hometown guys. Did you ever consider trying to pursue that, or was the UFC always what you wanted?
It's funny, it's like, when you're young, you want what you want, and then when money becomes this, evil variable, you think that, you're willing to, I guess, settle for something else. because you're just, you're financially in a position where you just need something to be coming in on a regular basis, I guess. But because I've been struggling for so long, and I've been spending every hour of every day for so many years now on this sport. So when I beat Noah Dung, I thought at the time that Bellator would be interested in something long term. Yeah, my dream is always the UFC. I can probably imagine the majority of their roster would have hoped to have fight in the UFC one day if they aren't already veterans of the UFC. But when I fought for them, it felt great to get on a world stage like that. The finish of the fight kind of went viral, and I thought for sure Bellator would be interested in something long term, and that was something I was considering at the time because of where I was financially. I'm happy it didn't happen. I ended up fighting for them again 2 fights later, as you know, in July of last summer. I won that fight again in a finish, and again there was nothing really on the table about a multi-fight deal. But as I look back, I'm happy there wasn't, because at the end of the day, I would have been settling myself short. I would have been, settling for something that is, I guess, less than what I deserve. And I want to fight the best in the world. It's no secret that the UFC holds the best in the world. If you're within the best in the world, you fight in the UFC.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And I guess, for people that haven't seen you fight, what do you think it is that attracted you to get this opportunity on Dana White's Contender Series? Like, what is it about you? Is it the interviews you talked about? Is it the style? Is it the finishes? Is it all of the above?
It's definitely a little bit of everything. I know that there's a lot of people in my position, maybe with 7 professional fights with a winning record, but are they exciting to watch? Do they get the people up on their feet? Do they get people in the crowd? Do they finish the fights? Do they know how to talk? Are they looking to really capitalize on the showman part of it? And do they know anything about show business? You know what I mean? Like, for me, it's a little natural. It's really weird how sometimes I could be around my friends and they try to rattle me up to F around a little bit and talk how I do like post fights, and it doesn't happen. It isn't up until the lights are on me that it's almost like there's another identity in there.
The Cannibal
in my head. Yeah, the Cannibal comes out, man, and he likes to talk a little bit, and I got a lot to say in the upcoming future.
Yeah, no doubt. And I guess talk to me about this matchup too. Chris Duncan, he was a guy that was a member of the full-time Bellator roster, kind of diverged, lost on Contender Series, won, I think, one more. So a tough guy, no doubt, right?
Yeah, it definitely is tough. I think everybody that I'm going to be facing from here on forward is tough. I've been fighting tough guys since I started this shit, 13. So, I actually wasn't aware that he was on their roster. I thought maybe it was kind of the same situation. I saw he had 1 or 2 fights, so I figured that maybe same thing with me, just kind of one-off deals. I didn't know, whatever for him. But yeah, Chris Duncan, I think he's born in Scotland. I could be wrong about that, but I know he represents that flag. And I'm actually part Scottish, so it's not even nothing personal with that. But at least when I beat him, his fans can then understand that I'll be the one in the UFC representing Scotland a bit,
And I guess what kind of performance are you expecting to put on in front of the boss, in front of Dana White?
Anyone who watches this fight is not gonna be able to sleep that night. That's all I can say. I have no doubt that he's training hard, and I hope he is, because I know that the harder it becomes in that fight, I don't care how hard it gets, because the harder it is, it's going to give me that opportunity to show how deep I can dig. So, he could be in the best shape of his life, he could be the best performer of his life, but I'm going to raise the bar every time, and I'm willing to die in there trying. So.
Cool, man. Well, I appreciate
your
time.
Ready.
Yeah, absolutely. Good luck getting that contract, and we'll see you fighting in a couple weeks, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks very much, Nolan.